Are there contradictions in the Quran? How long did it take Allah to create the universe? Surah 7 verse 54 states it took 6 days. Yet, Surah 41, 9-12 appears to add up to 8 days. What was created first, the heavens or the earth? Surah 2 verse 29 says the earth was created first, then the heavens. But Surah 79, 27-30 says the heavens came first, then the earth. Who was the first Muslim? Surah 6:14 calls Muhammad the first Muslim. Surah 7, 143 says it was Moses. Meanwhile, other verses describe Adam and Abraham as Muslims too. Was Muhammad the first messenger to the Arabs? Surah 10:47 says, Allah sent a messenger to every nation. Surah 2, 125-129 describes Abraham and Ishmael building the Kaaba in Arabia. But Surah 28:46 says Muhammad was the first messenger to the Arabs. Is shirk forgivable? Surah 4:48 says shirk is unforgivable. Yet later in the same surah, verse 153, Allah forgives those who committed shirk. Is the Quran written in pure Arabic? Surah 16:103 says it is. However, scholars have found many foreign words in the Quran from Persian, Syriac, and Greek. Are Jews and Christians accepted by Allah? Surah 2 verse 62 says they have nothing to fear if they believe and do good. But Surah 385 insists that only Islam is accepted by Allah. What was man created from? Nothing. Surah 1967. A clot of blood, Surah 96:2. Water, Surah 21:30. A drop of sperm, Surah 16:4. Clay or mud, Surah 15:26. Dust, Surah 3:59. Earth, Surah 11:61. Will intercession be allowed on the Day of Judgment? Yes, Surahs 21:09, 34:23, and 43:86. No, Surahs 21:23, 6:51, and 82:19. What happened to Pharaoh when he chased the Israelites? Surah 10:92 says Allah saved him to be a sign for others. But Surah 17:103 says Pharaoh drowned. What about abrogation, where some verses cancel others? Surah 2:256 says there is no compulsion in religion. Surah 9:29 commands Muslims to fight those who don't believe in Allah. What about alcohol? Surah 4:43 permits it, as long as you're not drunk during prayer. But Surah 5:90 completely forbids it. What is the punishment for sexual sin? Surah 4:15 prescribes house arrest. Surah 24 verse 2 prescribes 100 lashes. So, here's the question. Muslims believe the Quran is the perfect word of God, preserved on a flawless heavenly tablet. But that tablet supposedly says, 1. The punishment for sexual sin is house arrest. 2. The punishment for sexual sin is 100 lashes. 3. There is no contradiction in the Quran. Do you see the issue?